Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'll be talking about some rookies that are turning heads at the Washington Commanders training camp and how this class might be the foundation for the Washington Commanders for a long time. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Also check out BetUS, who will be sponsoring the channel again for this football season. But yeah, comment down below which rookie has impressed you the most. And yeah, let's get right into it. So I made a whole video about Brennan Coleman yesterday and how he's had a good camp, and not only just that, but he's been starting, he's been getting a lot of reps with the ones. And we're going to talk about Brennan Coleman because it seems like he had the best day he's had all camp today. Went undefeated with him and Sam Cosmi in 1v1 drills, and today every report I saw was saying good things about Brennan Coleman. Not just fans, but Lionel Willingham, he said it. JP Finley, John Kine, Ben Stan, like a bunch of big media guys were saying it as well, which is absolutely huge. So Brennan Coleman, he's a guy that has had a really good camp, and he deserves his flowers, and we'll talk about him a little bit more, but I went in more depth into him in yesterday's I went into more depth about his training camp performance so far in yesterday's video, so go ahead and check that out. But let's get talk about some other guys that have been balling out. We'll get to Jayden Daniels in a second, but Jordan McGee hasn't made a lot of splash plays, but for the most part has had a good camp. Dan Quinn says that Jordan McGee has rare speed and a ton of bursts. He's off to an excellent start. We heard some good things the first day from Jalen Morgan from Bleeding Burgundy and Gold. Check that out. He's been there a couple of times, or at least once, to training camp. When I was there, I saw him make at least one, maybe two solid plays in the run game. He's working with the second team, which is expected because Frankie Louvu's in front of him, Bobby Wagner's in front of him. Even like Jamin Davis is starting to get work with the linebackers again. I think they tried him out at DN to see what he could do, but they're still going to give him those reps at linebacker in case he needs to play there. I think he's still going to make the roster. But yeah, Jordan McGee has had a good camp, not amazing, but a good camp, and I think that if he continues to do this, maybe he'll get a little bit of PT this year. Not a lot, probably special teams for sure, and then maybe a few defensive snaps per game depending on the situation. And then, ideally, Bobby Wagner hands a torch off to him and teaches him what he needs to do, and it'll be Jordan McGee and Frankie Louvu as our two linebackers next year. But yeah, Jordan McGee has had a good camp. I will be showing you guys some clips from the rookies. So Mike Sainristil had a little bit of a slow start to camp, not in terms of maybe his performance, but just from what we were hearing. Like, I wasn't hearing much about him, and even when I was there, I didn't notice him too much. I'll show you guys some clips, but last few days we've noticed a little bit more. We've heard a little bit more from coaches. Dan Quinn said he's settling in nice at that nickel position or slot, whatever you want to call it, and he'll probably be the starter there. He basically said that. So he'll probably be the starting slot guy for the Washington Commanders, and then you got probably Forbes and St. Juste as the outside guy. So that the starting lineup is starting to settle in. I mean, Quan Martin, Jeremy Chin as the starting safeties, the three corners I just mentioned in Forbes, and then Sainristil in the slot, and then St. Juste on the outside, and then linebackers Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, and then edge is the only one that really we don't know. I mean, Dorrance Armstrong's probably going to be one of them, but then after that, is it going to be Clone Farrell? Is it going to be Dante Fowler, KJ Henry, Andre Jones, maybe Jamin Davis? Who knows? And obviously, Deron Payne and John Allen will be the starting interior guys. But Mike Sainristil, solid camp, forced a fumble the other day in camp, which was good. He forced one off of Brian Robinson, so able to get a forced fumble. He's Nick Saban called him the pound for pound best player in the draft. Hey, I'm gonna listen at least a little bit to what Nick Saban has to say. Played him. I believe they played each other the last few years, and Mike Sainristil has had a good camp. Let's hope it continues, and he's still relatively new to the position. Played receiver first 2 or 3 years at Michigan, I believe. So has some experience there. I think they had him returning a little bit, but I doubt he's going to be the returner for the Washington Commanders this year. Jayden Daniels has been a stud for the most part. Like, I would say the first, maybe first day first few days he was good, then had a couple okay days for the Washington Commanders, maybe like one below average day. And I think the last couple of days he's had a really good training camp. Today had a good one, and they didn't have practice yesterday, but the day before he had a even better one. So he has had a very solid training camp. I wouldn't say amazing, but he's had a solid training camp, working with the ones a little bit, sometimes with the twos. It's been, he's been mixed in there, but I think at some point Dan Quinn's got to make that decision, or Cliff, whoever. Let's make him the starter. Let's make him the starter, announce him as a starter. Maybe it'll be after the first preseason game. I don't know, but I think it needs to happen soon, because I think he's shown that he can be the starting quarterback for us. I think he can, and he's done it over enough days. And also, you think Mariota hasn't balled out at all either, so it's not like Mariota's been balling out and okay, maybe we kind of have to save face. We have to, say that it's still a competition. But Mariota has not had a great camp, so it makes me just think we should announce Jayden as a starter. He's, again, good camp so far. He's connected with Terry pretty well, a little bit with Jahan. Some other guys like Casimir Allen has been getting some catches as well. And he's run the ball when he needs to, but he's not relying on that. Like, he's a very, very skilled runner, but he's not a run-first quarterback. He isn't like Lamar is. Lamar is also a good passer. Do not get me wrong, but he is a run-first quarterback. But you're not going to necessarily. I at least don't think we're going to see that in Washington early on. Maybe it develops into that, but Jayden's a good passer. He was in college as well. I'm not trying to compare the two, but just in terms of people saying Jayden's a run first quarterback. Like, you watch Lamar in college, he was a run first quarterback. He can pass it. Do not get me wrong. He is a good passer. He is a very, very good quarterback in the league. There's a reason he's won multiple MVPs, but he is just in a different level of running than any of these other quarterbacks. Not only is he quick, he's shifty, and Jayden's quick, just probably not as shifty. But I think Jayden is, at least, I'm not saying now he's a better passer, but I think coming out of college, Jayden's a better passer, is a better passer than Lamar was coming out of Louisville. So that's just my thoughts. But yeah, Jayden's had a good camp. Jordan McGee has had a good camp. Mike Sainristil, and then of course, Brennan Coleman might be the stud of camp so far, at least for the rookies. We know Sam Keitz's going to ball out, and John Allen, same thing. Daron Payne, all those guys. A couple other things, since this video is about rookies, I guess we can talk about some other guys that maybe haven't really showed out that much, or we haven't heard much. One guy I haven't heard anything about is Dom Hampton. Have not heard anything about him. 5th round pick out of Temple. No, not Temple. I think Washington. But safety. Haven't heard anything about him at all. Like, not even one tweet really. So interesting. And then Luke McCaffrey, nothing crazy, but when I watched him, looked solid, but was working mostly with the 2s and 3s. Gets some targets though, and I think he makes the most of them. It's just, I don't know if he's going to have that impact that maybe some of us thought he would in his rookie year. I still don't know, but he's definitely not tearing it up, but he's also not struggling, I would say. You also have to remember, he's new to the position. He only played receiver 2 years in college. The other 3 years were quarterback. 1 or 2 years in Nebraska, and then a year at Rice as quarterback, and then he switched to receiver, staying at Rice. And it's going to take him some time. Ben Sennett, from what we've been hearing, I haven't heard him make really any spot. I mean, I think he had one nice one-handed catch, but for the most part, haven't heard him, make some splash plays, but have heard about some drops. So not concerning, but 2nd round pick, you would like to hear a little bit better things from him. But hey, it's still early. Johnny Newton, he's the one that I'm going to say NA. I'm not really going to give him, not saying I'm giving a grade, but just it's hard to evaluate him. Missed all of spring and missed the early portion of training camp, or the rookie part. And then they had him like off the NFI list, non-football injury list, but then they kind of slowed him into things. So I'm not really going to judge him until probably the season starts, but at least until a couple preseason games in, just because he's still working with the threes right now, and he's going to work his way up into the twos and maybe even sometimes with the ones. So I'm not worried about him. Jean Baptiste, the defensive end, Notre Dame and Ohio State too. I think he transferred from Ohio State to Notre Dame. Haven't really heard anything about him either. But we got a lot of guys at edge rusher, so I think it's hard for him to get a lot of PT there. But those are kind of the updates on the rookies. We've heard some really good things from some of them, and really, if Jayden Daniels hits, the rest of the class doesn't matter too much. I mean, so you still would like a lot of them to hit, but if they can get a few of these guys to hit, including Jayden, this class is going to be amazing. Like if you can get Brennan Coleman. And then, one or two of the second round picks to hit, and then one other guy to hit. Like, that's a huge draft. But realistically, you probably want two of those second round picks to hit. I mean, you took three guys in the second and then a couple guys in the third. So, we'll see what happens here. But I'm excited, and I'll keep making videos. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did stay till the end, go ahead and comment down below. Drawn Christian, a little bit of an OG Redskins player, and I guess not really that OG, but like 5-6 years ago he's on the 4 years ago he was on the team, maybe even less 3. I'm not completely sure, but I believe he was here with Rivera maybe for 1 year, but I know he was here on the 2019 team, and I already got someone in mind for the next video. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy, and peace.